The pinky on the brain, pinky on the brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. The laboratory mice, the genes have been spliced. The pinky on the brain, 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 brain.
So what are we doing today, Michael?
Well, it's the same thing we do every Sunday to Monday, John. Doing the Butter Mash podcast. Hello!
Hello, welcome to the Button Mash podcast.
Very well done.
I thought that was a good segue.
Yes.
That is the quickest segue, I think. We've broken the record.
It's also the shortest intro as well. Probably.
Yeah, well, there isn't much to that song.
Well, no, just more time between actually pressing record and me actually getting around to saying hello and welcome to Button Mash podcast. Normally we've got like 15 minutes of Barry Chuckle first.
No, the Barry Chuckle segment comes later in the show.
Oh, it's an actual scheduled segment now.
Yep.
Alright, welcome to Button Mash podcast. We talk about video games and video game accessories, and later on in the show we'll have a Barry Chuckle segment, apparently.
We need to verify his heart is still beating.
Can someone go pin him down and check his pulse?
I've actually even come up with a jingle which I may not have stolen from Harry Hill.
Okay, well, I don't watch Harry Hill or particularly like Harry Hill, so I won't have heard it, so that's okay.
So therefore, it's not infringement on copyright.
We'll pretend it's original. Just like everything else I do. Oh well. Welcome to the Button Mash podcast. Yes, video games. Those are things. We're going to talk about gaming experiences for the past week, as well as upcoming releases and gaming news, and live or dead status of various celebrities of varying degrees of fame, I suspect.
Well, people like to be informed on these things.
Right, it is important news, yes. Has anybody been keeping track of any particular celebrities this week?
I had a look in on Richard O'Brien, he's still fine.
Is he still around? Is he actually still around? That's one I hadn't thought about in a long time.
Nope, the Crystal Maze Man is still up and kicking, so...
Well, then why are they not making more Crystal Maze, is the important question. As long as that man is alive, they should be making more of it.
My main concern is, Roy Walker is still alive, why is he not presenting Catchphrase?
The great questions of life. The mysteries of the universe.
People will stay awake debating these issues.
Indeed, people have written theses on these things.
It's a dissertation for a university student right now.
Why is Roy Walker not still presenting? Yes.
He should be.
Alright.
Say what you see, John. Say what you see.
I see some show notes for some video games.
Well, let's talk about them, shall we?
Alrighty, let's do that.
Another segue.
Titan Souls. I think Titan Souls is the news of the week, right?
Yeah, I
think it
you
is.
might want to talk about this. Just guessing.
Yeah. It's I presume you finished it, have you?
I haven't finished all the bosses, but I have finished the game.
Okay. Okay. Right.
You don't have to
There are
fight
optional
all
bosses?
the bosses.
Okay.
Yes, quite a few actually.
Was it an easy playthrough, Will, or have you not slept in about 3 days?
I find that some of them are really frustratingly easy as soon as you figure out what the actual pattern is to what they're doing. So they're not... They can be... Some of them can be beaten... In fact, in the achievements, there are achievements for beating certain titans within 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So...
Most of them open themselves up to actually being killed really, really quickly, but if you don't know that that's the moment to kill them, you wouldn't. That's more for you kind of speedrunning at that point, I think.
Yeah.
If you I mean, there is an achievement for beating the entire game in under 20 minutes. That's the kind of people who are going to be trying to kill bosses in 10 seconds.
I'm very sure that's achievable. Very, very sure.
Well, someone left a comment on one of my videos saying that a couple of days after launch, someone had just done a world record speedrun on Twitch, and it was 24 minutes or something. So, probably tougher than you might imagine, but...
Yeah. Definitely.
I'd wager a lot of that time is probably just walking around, actually.
Yes. Getting between locations is a little bit draining. It's kind of boring going from location to location.
Well, given that I haven't seen everything yet, I'm still kind of enjoying exploring the world. It's a really nice little world to wander around, with lots of interesting bits and secret paths and other routes winding off and around the place. So I quite enjoy the wandering around and just seeing the sights kind of bit of the game. But that's I managed to completely avoid the point of games like that.
I want bigger. I want more world. I want more bosses.
Are they likely to do any DLC?
I have no idea.
I would hope so.
I would imagine there would be. I'm sure there would be a market for it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's that kind of. Yeah, it's like your Dark Souls kind of crowd. It's like, that was fun. That was really really difficult. Give me more.
Well, there are.
Have another level.
Yeah.
Once you finish the game, it opens up 3 more options. There's a hard mode, an iron mode, and a no rolling or running mode.
What?
And these are stackable.
That's integral. That running, rolling is integral to actually being able to kill anything.
Yep.
That's just
It's not that important, John.
You've not played this. It is goddamn essential.
And these are stackable. You can have more than one of these modes on while playing a game.
Right.
And there's a 4th that must be unlockable as well. I don't know what it is.
I mean, as soon as I got into the game, I did say there should be some sort of hardcore mode, which I imagine is iron mode, i.e. permadeath.
Yes, 1 life.
So hard mode must make the bosses just really freaking nasty. God knows how. They're bad enough as it is.
Well, I can tell you because I tried it.
Oh right.
The first boss you encounter, which is the heart encased in slime. Yeah. When you split that with an arrow in normal mode, it splits into 2.
Mm-hmm.
In hard mode, it splits into 3. So it takes up a lot more of the map, and it was pretty difficult. I managed to get them on by accident, as with a fair few other bosses.
Right.
And I think the other 3 that are in that starter area, they were just faster than normal.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, quite a bit faster.
So you might want to be able to roll out of the way of them or something. I don't know.
You might want to, if you were sensible.
Yeah. I can't for the life of me envision how that could possibly work.
I tried it. I failed miserably.
Yeah. I can't imagine you'd ever want to not be able to dodge attacks. Because, look, I mean, one of the bosses I just did last night was the Mimic. That teleports on top of you and lands on you. If you don't roll, you cannot get out of the way of that.
Which one's the Mimic?
The treasure chest that shoots coins and stuff at you.
Oh my god, I haven't done that one.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know how to get that one.
Too late to do a spoiler alert.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Jump forward 30 seconds if you don't want to know how to do this. Top left corner of that room, there's a switch hiding behind a stack of coins.
Right. Excellent. I will do that presently then.
That opens a stairway down to go down below it, and there's it's in a room beneath.
Have you tried the legendary Titan Slayer?
Oh god, yes, yeah. I've only made a very few attempts. Is that an optional thing then?
Well, all you've got to do is light up 8 of the lights on the second gate, and then you can just go through it and do the last bosses.
Are there more areas than there are lights then?
Yes.
Oh, see, I hadn't realised that. I figured there were only 8 areas.
Well, I haven't.
The Mimic's tied to that area.
Yeah.
It's in the same area. So when you said you hadn't done that, I was like, how have you not? How have you opened the door without doing the Mimic? I figured that was an essential boss.
No, I don't quite know how it works, but I know that I've missed 7 bosses.
Okay.
I know there are 7 that I just didn't manage to do.
How many are there total? Do you know that?
I think there's 20 total.
Oh, that's far less than I expected.
I know, this is why I want more. But even though I haven't even finished.
Someone said there were like 30 to 40 or something. I was like, oh, that's a good number of bosses.
No, there isn't.
20. Oh, well, I guess a lot of the areas do only have like 2 titans in them. And those surprised me when I got there. I was expecting at least 3 per area. And then some of them like, oh yeah, there's only 2 things to kill here.
Yeah, there was one of them that doesn't even put up a fight. It's like a little bit of a story.
Oh, yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I didn't like that one. He didn't fight back. No, I'm just killing random dudes for like no reason there. It's not like he was even a threat.
Horrible man.
There was just a giant statue dude with a huge leafy beard that you had to climb up, and then you just shoot him in the face because you're a dick, apparently.
I am that dick.
What did Beardy Man do to you?
Nothing, but I thought he would. I thought when I shot him in the face, he'd probably start trying to punch me and kill me, and therefore, I had a reason to fight him. But no, he's just like, nope, he's dead now. I was like, oh, I feel really bad now. Oh,
did you look after his widow?
If I find her, I will probably have to shoot her in the face as well. Because such is the nature of the game.
That's not the spirit.
He called my shiny arrow an abomination.
Maybe because he anticipated you were going to shoot him in the face for it.
He knew what you were going to do.
He didn't need that third eye. That's just too many eyes.
So you decided to kill him over an extra eye. You eyeist.
Didn't just think, I'll buy him an eye patch. You know what? No,
I am removing this with archery.
You could have given him some cosmetic surgery and he would have fit into society like a normal giant statue man.
With his leafy beard.
With his leafy beard.
Yes.
It's something a lot of people have said about Shadow of the Colossus as well, is that there's not really necessarily a lot of context given to what you're doing. You're just going around killing giant majestic creatures because you're kind of a dick, really. You're just some dude with a vendetta against giant ancients. And for some reason you're like, I'm going to go kill them all, or as many as I can possibly manage. Except in your case, you're like, I'll leave those 7. Those 7 get to live.
Yeah.
Your character have a real vendetta against WWF or something.
Sorry?
I mean, the panda people.
Is this for the
panda
panda people? Yeah.
Right. I thought you were talking about wrestling. I mean, you usually talk about wrestling, so when you said talking about it, I was like, where does wrestling come into this? Unless that's like DLC down the line. It's like, you, 1 bow, 1 arrow, and you're going to fight Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Surely Hulk Hogan.
Well, it'll be a DLC pack. There'll be like 4 or 5 bosses, all wrestlers, yeah. And they will all do various different takedowns on you.
Get on it, game creators.
Well, that's one for you, Acid Nerve. Free content from us right here now.
$1 million ideas provided by Bloodmash.
You can get some sponsorship from WW, whoever owns the rights to whichever, E or F, depending on, is it? Depending on who, I don't know. I presume they both have different...
for the wrestling, WWF for the pandas, so...
Is there not a WWF for wrestling?
No, the panda people sued the WWE over the name, and the pandas won because they're pandas and they're adorable.
Oh, right. I thought it was like with a lot of sports where you've got like 2 different groups that both run kind of the same thing, but they're the same. It's like you got rugby union and rugby league. Used to be, and never the twain shall meet.
There used to be WCW, but that went out of business. So.
Okay. Fair enough. I was genuinely under the impression there were like 2 different wrestling boards, such as it were. It was like there's WWE and WWF, and they were like separate things. Okay, yep. I'm learned.
You've learned something new.
Sweet. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, back to Titanfall. Sorry for that detail.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
It's
gorgeous.
Great. It is very gorgeous. Although it's really weird in its isometricness, because it sometimes I don't even notice that there's stairs in front of me.
I think the bit that I don't think it's not necessarily too bad. It's the same kind of perspective and design that a lot of your old school RPG kind of things use. Stuff like, to be fair, anything in RPG Maker uses that perspective. Yeah. There's actually the 4th Titan in the first area, the guy with the big poundy fists, the statue.
Yeah.
When you go through that door, it looks like you're going inside. And it looks like it's some big crypt kind of thing, and it looks like it's like a room that you're going to go in. It has a roof, and you're like, oh no, it's just a wall. I'm just going through the wall, and it's actually open air kind of section.
Yeah.
That was a bit deceptive.
It's all deceptive to me.
It's the bit that really throws it into the bit that's weird is when you actually get bosses that genuinely do appear to be 3D.
You know, I did find that strange, but necessary.
Yeah. It's just kind of odd. It's like it fits the style, and it definitely works. It's just like it's just kind of a bit odd because nothing else in the world moves like this. I mean,
the boss movement kind of dictated that it needed to be 3D because it just wouldn't have looked the same in pixel art.
Indeed, yeah. And I mean, the one that got my attention first with that, I may have missed like other ones that did it before. And it was the electric serpent.
Yes.
Yeah, that was when I was like, hang on, that's actually like a 3D model that's diving around me, the 2D sprite. What the hell? Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah, that one took me quite a few attempts.
Yes, likewise, me too.
Yeah.
So it only gives you like I don't think it took me too long to figure out what to do, but the actual the bit you have to shoot, it's just such a split-second opportunity to actually shoot that and kill it.
And you have to be in a specific place, and if you're in the water at any given time, you'll probably be electrocuted.
Well, you get yeah, I guess
you get a half-second warning to get out of the fucking water.
It's a little bit longer
your little
than that.
island.
You get a little bit more time than that.
A fraction more.
The full second.
Yeah, you get a good second. Yeah, just stay in the water so that it doesn't destroy any of the islands, so you got stuff to stand on, and stay fairly close to the island so you got something to get out of when the water goes dark. And then try and hit the tiny, tiny, tiny target that will flash past in like 1/10 of a second. That's the tricky bit that requires ridiculous timing.
Yes.
Also, I found out the hard way. When you shoot it, don't go over and walk up to the tail because it's still electric and it will still kill you. When it's sat there in the water dead, it's still deadly to touch. Don't touch it.
Did not know that.
I found out the hard way.
Why? What were you planning to do with him?
Well, up at that point, I didn't realize you could just. I thought you were like physically walking up to the Titans and pulling the arrows out of them to get their souls. I didn't realize you could just do it remotely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I've got to go retrieve my arrow now. I'd better go pull it out the Titan. Electric.
I'm going to pull this metal thing out of this electric animal.
Well, it's not a crossbow. Arrows are normally wood, aren't they not?
Metal
Pens.
tips.
Metal tips, yeah, but I'm not going to pull it. I'm not going to get hold of it. The tip's stuck in the creature. I'm getting hold of the wooden bit with my rubber gloves.
Rubber shoes.
And yes, never mind that I'm sat in the water with the electric creature, but hey.
It'll be fine.
Oh well. So yeah, that was a cool boss.
So, have you found any bosses really easy so far?
The mushroom one I pretty much killed by accident.
There's a mushroom boss?
Yeah, there's a big mushroom that just sort of bounces around and shoots bullets at you. It's a bit bullet hell, but I was just like, I'm just going to take a wild pot shot at it and see what the heck happens. And it just went, poof, dead. And it's like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, you need to be facing a certain direction of it. There's only one vulnerable spot on one side of it.
Yeah, it's got a fairly obvious weak point.
Yeah.
There's like it's a fairly obvious bit to shoot. But yeah, I just completely hit that completely by accident. I was just firing wildly at it. I didn't expect it just to be a done dead kind of thing.
Yeah, for me, same boss. Same area. The other kind of plant boss.
Oh yeah,
the thing that looks like it's from Jumanji. Because you can literally shoot its arms off. The bits that are attacking you can literally dismember it.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah, it's still got the poison cloud and stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, that did take me a few attempts because I kept doing stupid things. Like even when I was taking some of the tendrils off, it still had other ones to whack you with. And I found out the hard way that whilst they're on the floor, they're still deadly. If you roll into them, you'll still get impaled on it.
What I tend to do, I shot them all off in a cluster, so they were all in one area of the map.
When I finally killed it, that was the tactic I used. Yeah, I did that. Admittedly, at that point, I was literally just trying. I still hadn't actually figured out how you kill the damn thing. I was still just trying to make the room safe. I was just like, I'm just going to get rid of all the tendrils, and then I'm going to figure out how to kill this thing. Admittedly, once I'd done that, it was really easy to kill the thing.
Yeah. Yesterday, I got the achievement for shooting off all its arms completely.
Right, yeah, I saw that.
Achievement.
That's how I knew that you could do that, because I'd seen that achievement in the list.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, I know that that's the thing I can do. Let's do that. Seems like a useful strategy. I'm trying to think. I can't think of what ones I've done. I've killed so many Titans this week. And not nearly as many as everyone else by the sounds of it. I mean, I am genuinely struggling to think of what else I've actually fought now.
Well,
Oh, I like the Dr. Robotnik fight.
Dr. Robotnik makes an appearance.
Sort of.
That may be one I haven't done.
You probably have. I lovingly referred to it as Dr. Robotnik during the fight because it's identical to one of the fights with Dr. Robotnik in Sonic Spinball.
Is the music there?
No.
Oh, that's a disappointment.
I know. It's not meant to be Dr. Robotnik, but it's got teeth that you knock out.
Oh,
and you have to shoot it through the teeth. Yeah. It's the same mechanic as you do fighting Dr. Robotnik in Sonic Spinball. So he drives around a machine that's got a bunch of teeth on the front of it, and you just have to hit it with a pinball a bunch of times to knock the teeth out.
You sound like a horrible, horrible person, this game character. You're blinding stone giants, knocking out Dr. Robotnik's teeth.
The entire game revolves around finding ancient and majestic creatures and killing them for no well-explored reason. Yes, the main character in Titan Souls is kind of a dick.
So you're kind of Jimbo from South Park.
Yes, yeah, they're coming right at me. Pretty much, yeah.
Okie doke.
It's, like I say, it is clearly inspired by Shadow of the Colossus, which was much the same kind of thing. It's like, hey, look at these ancients, let's go stab them in their weak spots.
It's taking the really minimalist storytelling from Dark Souls.
I kind of figured that might be the case, yeah.
Giving you pretty much nothing but a visually interesting environment.
And I figure for the kind of people who are willing to dig into it and actually find the secrets and the hidden bits and all that kind of stuff, I imagine you might actually be able to piece together some sort of context and narrative to it, and it'd probably be fairly rewarding. But there's sort of people who are going to obsess over it.
Definitely.
I mean, I found more than a few bits that are just kind of like, I don't know what this is. I mean, trying to find the plant boss, I found some giant watery statue thing. It's like, I assumed that was like directions to the boss until I asked you how to get to the boss, and that room just seems to be completely superfluous.
That I spent a long time walking around that large altar, not knowing what to do about it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I found another room quite close to the Mimic boss, which, there was a room that literally has the instructions on the floor to get to that plant boss. Had I gone there first, I would have known how to get it. Yeah, on the opposite side of the room, that area when you've got the ancient, legendary Titan Slayer and the Mimic, on the right-hand side of that little area, there's a room that's just empty, except for some engravings on the floor. It's got a symbol that looks kind of like the plant boss, and then right, left, up in arrows inscribed on the floor.
Maybe the giant altar in the water is something else, then? Hint-wise?
I don't know. Potentially.
I don't know.
It doesn't match anything I've seen so far in the game.
It looks like a boss.
It does very much look like a boss.
But
nothing
not one
that
I've seen. Yeah.
There may be hidden bosses.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, to be fair, I've already had people spoiling stuff in the comments for me. Thanks, guys. Apparently there is extra stuff as well.
If you feel like spoiling anything else in Titan Souls for John, please feel free to leave us a comment.
Don't even bother. If you wish to leave a comment below, sure, go ahead. If it's to do with Titan Souls, shut your trap.
The views of the bottom of my post are solely his.
It's my channel, damn it. I should put a blacklist on my comments that filters out the word Titan Souls. Until I'm done with this bloody game, you're not allowed to use those words in my comments. Them's the rules now.
Dear.
Never mind, it's very easy just to not use those words. You're just like, hey, did you know there's a boss over here? It was like, that wouldn't even use those words.
Hey, that game you talked about for 20 minutes.
Yes, that one. Is that a hint that you would like us to talk about something else?
No. I'm enjoying learning about Titan Souls.
Before we do, you might be able to enlighten me of something I did entirely accidentally. Next to the big beardy man.
Oh, okay.
The boss
next to his corpse, yeah.
Yeah, next to his third eyeless corpse. There is a boss that looks like an Incan face that shoots magic missiles at you.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I killed it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I killed it.
You shoot it in the back. It's got a big glowy white back.
Yeah,
How is that
but
not
how,
obvious?
how do you shoot it in the back when it's always facing you?
You retract your arrow into its back.
I tried that.
It took me more than it took me more than a few attempts. You have to get a bit of speed up with it. If you just kind of tap it into it, doesn't it? You have to have a bit of distance so that by the time the arrow makes contact with its back, it's got a bit of momentum, so it can actually stab it.
Right, I see.
Yeah, it took me a bunch of attempts to do that. It took me a few attempts, and then I gave up on that strategy because I figured it wasn't working. And I came back to that strategy, and it worked. And I was like, God damn it, I should have just gone with my initial hunch. Because that genuinely seems to be the general rule of the game. It's like, if you think something's going to work, that's probably how it does work. There's nothing really trying to catch you out in the game. It's usually fairly intuitive what you're supposed to be doing. Usually, yeah. It stumped me for ages, and then I did it, and I just couldn't fathom how I wasn't paying enough attention when I was pulling back my arrow. I mean, the videos I've been doing a death counter for it. I regret that choice. I really regret that choice. The editing I've had to do for that. I was like, I've had a quick look at a few other people's stuff, sort of their early game videos, and I'm like, I just mild curiosity just to see how other people have edited the same game in terms of video content. And everyone else is just like, I'm just going to cut out all the failed attempts. I'm like, that would make a lot of sense. I can't do that with a death count, so I've got to keep them all in. What it basically boils down to is a lot of my video just becomes a death montage.
This is what I warned you about when you started this.
You did.
Every good channel needs to have a montage.
Yes. This is my
death.
montage. It's just way more editing than I normally do for video. I mean, I'll happily do it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, God damn it.
So how many deaths are you up to so far?
Don't know exactly, to be honest. I could probably fire up the game and find out.
I'm going to... yes, I'm going to do the same, just for a second.
Actually, well, no, I'll play audio, so I don't want to do that.
Wait. I've got a fun comment interaction with the viewers. Make a guess as to how many deaths John or Will has.
Okay,
that would require me to fire up the game. I'm going to get audio. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, it's going to go on the podcast. That is the issue. Well, it started now.
Too late.
You'll have to have the title music from Titan Souls whilst I find out exactly. Come on, faster. 90. I'm up to 90.
Okay. Well, I've finished the game at 194.
Ooh. Okay.
So you died a lot then, Will.
With 13 killed bosses.
Okay. I didn't check how many bosses I'd done there. 13. That's great. That really doesn't seem like many. Oh, okay.
You should have killed more endangered creatures, Will.
No.
I feel like I'm probably not so far off 13 already, but I don't know. How strange.
I was surprised when I finished the game. I didn't expect it to finish. I thought it was pretty thorough. I left some bosses out specifically because I couldn't kill them, but not that many.
Right. Like I say, I mean, it does surprise me to learn that that's the case at all. I figured you would have to kill them all. Okay.
Nope. Apparently, 11, including the first 4. 7 before you can move on to the other area.
Right, okay. Fair enough. That's 7. How can you get away with 7?
I don't know, because there's 8 lights, but when you first walk up to the door, one of them's already lit.
Yeah, but there are more. Yeah, but that for you to only have killed only kill 7 more Titans would require there to be only 1 Titan per section. And there aren't. There's at least 2.
I don't think you have to clear a section. I think you just got to do 1 boss in each section or something.
Oh, really?
Or it might just be one boss equals 1 light.
No, that can't be right. I'm quite sure that can't be right. Otherwise, the door should be open for me by now. I'm quite sure.
Yeah?
You've thrown my world upside down, my Ten Souls world. This is not how I expected this to work.
I'm blowing your mind.
But if the first section...
You need to lie down, John.
I do, a little bit. But if the first section... If it was one boss is one light, then surely the first section would count for 4 lights.
Apparently only counts for 1.
Well, I realised that, yeah, because I went and checked the door and it had 1 light after I got there. I haven't been back to the door since, I don't think. The introductory area being, finish the area to get 1 light, I'd kind of assumed it would be finish the area, get 1 light. Well, that would... If I can skip the legendary Titan Slayer, whatever it is, that's probably quite a nice one.
Yeah, you know what? I started up a new game and I thought, actually... Because that's the first Titan I came to.
Oh, really?
As soon as I got to that part of the game, and well, you know what? I'm just gonna blitz this one because I know how it works, and it killed me so many times again. It's a pretty tough boss.
Well, I don't think I even particularly know how it works. So
right,
I don't think I've seen it enough times to know the mechanics of it fully.
I know
the arrow bounces around a ridiculous amount of times and just destroys everything in its path.
Yeah,
which is just horrible. So yeah, if I can give that one a skip, I might give that one a skip then.
You can. It will let you. I've literally done the bare minimum to get through the second gate to finish the game.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the first boss I got to was the Yeti.
Really? I haven't actually done that one. I don't know how to do that
really?
one. I can guess where its vulnerable spot is.
Yeah.
But
I guess, in the spirit of Tulkas, has there been a puppy boss yet?
I haven't seen anyone. No.
No, there are no.
Is there nothing doggy?
No dog titans. This is a Will-approved game.
Are there lizard titans?
The serpent dragon?
Oh yeah, I suppose that counts.
Yes.
I always thought that looked more like Onyx from Pokemon.
No, I imagine he's quite hard to kill.
That said, it is lightning, so I don't know how rocks would shoot lightning, but...
It ate a Pikachu or something, I guess.
Maybe. Well, it could be Steelix. Steel conducts lightning.
Oh. No, wait, that's not going to next gen.
It's second gen. Second gen's okay by me.
I don't actually know what that is.
Steelix was the steel evolution of Onyx.
I have never seen this.
It's basically Onyx but metal.
Okay. You've piqued my curiosity.
He's Googling Steelix.
It's pretty cool. It's one of those ones that
right,
it's one of those ones that you had to trade to get anyway. It's really difficult to come by if you didn't have people to trade with.
Right.
Much like same. I think it was one of the versions had Steelix, the other one had Scizor. Maybe they were both steel Pokemon, steel evolution ones. That you had to trade with to get them.
Ah.
I think that was how that worked. Because I know I had to. I can't remember why. I seem to recall having a very, very difficult time convincing anyone to get me a Steelix, not Steelix, Scizor, because I really, really wanted a Scizor. But I don't know. I remember having a lot of trouble convincing anyone. Hey, can we make this trade and make this happen? But there we go.
This is why I had both red and blue.
Well, I had red and my brother had blue, so I usually just stole his Game Boy when he wasn't around and made the trades that way and then just traded him back.
Yeah.
It was one time I got up like really super early in the morning and started a new game on his, played through until the point where the Pokemon are tradable, and then traded the starter Pokemon to mine in exchange for a crap like a Rattata or something. And I did that twice so that I had all 3 starter Pokemon. But I never saved his game, so it didn't save over his existing game. I just traded the starter Pokemon to myself, so I ended up with all 3 starter Pokemon, and I hadn't destroyed his game save.
And I remember you consider it for a brother.
Yeah, unless the brother would have just screwed him over.
Yeah.
Well, there was no reason to save, so I didn't need to. But yeah, I know my mum was kind of pissed off about that. I was like, I didn't delete his game save. Why am I the bad guy here?
Because your mum
everyone assumed that you would be corrupt enough to delete his game because you are a brother.
Your mum has a spirit of fair play. Kudos to her.
What are you saying my strategy for getting all the Pokemon was not fair and reasonable and just?
It's not what Nintendo imagined.
Okay, well, it's probably not quite in the spirit of the game. Given that those Pokemon are some of the most powerful Pokemon in the game, running around with all three of them, maybe a little bit, just a touch OP, but I don't know, it's pretty cool. Also, gotta catch them all, dude. How else am I gonna catch them all?
Trade with people. Spend your money.
Nobody is going to trade you their starter Pokemon. That's not how Pokemon works. Nobody's like, oh, well, I've got this Squirtle here, but yeah, sure, I'll trade it for your Pidgey.
Hey, depends how high up level that Pidgey is.
But if you only have a Squirtle, the Pidgey wouldn't have obeyed you because you wouldn't have had the relevant badges to control the Pidgey.
Maybe you've just never used Squirtle. Maybe you've got 8 badges and just thought, no, I don't need Squirtle. I've got a
This is not how Pokemon works. the idea of I don't know how they intended you get all of the starter Pokemon and thereby catch them all without doing that. How are you supposed? Nobody in their right mind who's legitimately playing Pokemon properly with their starter Pokemon and leveling it up to level 100 or whatever, Blastoise, is going to go, oh yeah, sure, I don't need my Blastoise anymore. That's the core of everyone's team. Your starter Pokemon is the backbone of your entire force.
Yeah.
Unless you have Mew, which in that case, Mew's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I did a playthrough with an emulator once, and I just gave myself Mew as the starter Pokemon. I was like, oh, this is OP. This is really OP.
Yep.
There was like, it was a Game Shark code in the emulator, and it was like, oh, a wild Mew appeared with a 100% spawn rate in the long grass. Let me just throw a Pokeball at it.
I got it. What a shock.
I know. Level 5 Mew starting the game. Whee! That was good. That was very good. I liked that playthrough.
I can't imagine why.
Mew learns everything as well, so it can just do any job you want it to.
You shoot him.
Mm-hmm. So yes, this is relevant in current gaming.
Oh yeah, everyone loves a good Pokemon reminisce.
Yep. It's a shame they don't make them anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. That Pokemon franchise wasted opportunities.
I know, so much potential in profit.
No, it's great when they stop with that 150, but I just feel like they could have squeezed a couple more out.
So, I've been playing Gratuitous Space Battles.
Have you really?
It's pretty good. It seems it was really buggy at launch, and it was like crashing a lot, but they do seem to have patched everything out on it pretty quickly, so it's not too bad now. I'm also looking at Steam, and it actually already now says there is an update for Gratuitous Space Battles, so I guess it's been patched with more stuff. So there you go. So it's being fixed pretty quick, so that's okay. So yeah, it's lots and lots of spaceships in space blowing each other up across all of your monitors, which is the best way to have spaceships blow each other up.
Oh yeah, without a monitor, where's the fun?
Mm-hmm. That's isn't it? Nothing quite like playing games in, what does it work out, 32 by 10 resolution.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty good.
I feel more games could be played like this.
Well, the problem it wouldn't work with everything, because if you think about like first-person shooters, you usually sort of looking at the center of the screen is where you're aiming. So if you kind of got your computer bezel like right down the middle, unless your monitors are like pretty much welded together and have no edge to them, that wouldn't work. It's not a great way to do it.
I think who even plays first-person shooters anymore?
I think I've tried doing MMOs before like that. It's not quite that. No, that doesn't work either particularly. Anything where the focus is at the center of the screen just really doesn't quite work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it's just with Gratuitous Space Battles, it works well because it's just lots and lots of spaceships all over the place, blowing them up, blowing each other up, and you don't have any control over the battle. You're just watching the battle unfold. It's all strategic. You set everything up beforehand and watch the dominoes fall, basically. And it's just very, very gratuitous, and it works across two monitors very nicely, because it doesn't matter if a ship is halfway across the middle of the screen.
So basically it's a strategy game, and then you just watch the chaos.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think the developers referred to it at some point saying it's close to a puzzle game than anything else. You design spaceships, and then you decide how you want your spaceship fleet to be set out, and you're going up against a pre-scripted enemy fleet, and you choose which spaceships you want, you choose where they go, you can choose what they look like in this one. There's a lot of visual customization, which the first one didn't actually have. So if you want to make your ship look like an X-Wing or a Star Destroyer, those are options. I have seen on the Steam Workshop, someone has made a Borg cube.
Oh,
wow.
fantastic.
Which is pretty impressive. I imagine it wouldn't be too long before we'd start seeing some Star Wars stuff. I'm surprised Star Wars stuff isn't the first stuff to appear on there, to be entirely fair.
Especially after last week, you would have been flooding the...
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Borg Cube is the #1 item on the Steam Workshop. Top of the list, Borg Cube Dreadnought.
It's not shocking, really, is it?
Which is, because the visual bits of the spaceships don't do anything in the game at all, and you can just stack as many as you want. So, I guess someone's just stacked bits and bits and bits and bits and bits of spaceship together until they made a complete cube out of it. And it's like, okay, kudos to you.
There's some commitment out there. It's got to be said.
There is. Oh shit, there's the USS Enterprise here.
Oh!
I'm looking through here. There's.
I was looking for some famous
I'm
spaceships.
looking. There's a Nyan ship, which is bright pink and has a rainbow trail behind it.
Oh dear.
I want that in my fleet.
Grown.
I want a Nyan ship.
We'll hate
Maybe
cats as well as puppies.
This is true. This is also true.
I'm surprised. I really am surprised there aren't more than that. I'm surprised to have only seen the 2. There's a lot of things that look kind of like they might be a kind of a Star Destroyer kind of thing, but none of them that officially say that. Someone needs to get on the Red Dwarf stuff as well, by the way.
Anyone made the delivery ship from Futurama?
Oh, the Planet Express ship.
Yep.
I can't see one, but I really hope that someone's going to make it.
Get on it.
There's a bunch of stuff which I guess is Star Trek. There's the USS Constitution and Acros and Stargazer. Maybe they look Star Trekky and they sound Star Trekky, at least in some cases. There is a great opportunity for creative people within this game, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
Much more so than the first one. The first one was just, you're allowed to use so many weapons and so many bits. Put together a spaceship out of weapons and bits, and they all look the same. Here, you can change the colour, you can change the parts, you can put as many parts on as you want, and it's ridiculous. There's quite a lot. So, yay, that's cool. Me, I don't have the patience to do that. It's like, it takes so long just to get everything set up in the first place. It's like each kind of scenario gives you like different requirements. They're like, oh, in this particular battle, your shields won't work. So you're like, oh shit, now I need to go back into the ship creator and redesign an entire fleet of ships that are all designed around the principle of they don't have shields. Which means they're going to be using a lot less power, and there'll be a lot more space. Well, armor is going to be the way to go in a battle that doesn't have shields. So suddenly you're like, oh well, now I need to make some more cruisers, and I need to make some more dreadnoughts, and every single one of these needs to have loads and loads of armor, but no shields. It needs to have proportionally less power, because obviously most of the power will go to the shields, generally speaking. So that's you need to. The balance of the ship will be very different. Any of the weapons on the ship, if you've got stuff that's focused on taking out shields, well, hey, you're not gonna need those. So let's create a different fleet of fighters that is more focused on stripping armor off of ships rather than working on shields. Because the workhorse of my fleet is usually the little fighters that drop anti-shield bombs on things, which completely screw up everything for the enemy. He's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fighters all dropping bombs on their shields that just fry their shields. It's a bit good. I don't know, it takes so much work to set something up, but watching it all play out and all destroy each other is really satisfying.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
I don't know, there's not many games that I will carry on playing to any great extent after I've finished reviewing them. This one I have been doing, yeah.
How long does a battle take once it's started?
It's got a toggleable speed slider, so at default speed, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe a bit less.
Okay.
If you're full whack, is like
And
a text
if you-
commentary.
I'll say, yeah, if you do it at full whack, yeah, you'd probably be done in about a minute or so. They really don't take long. So yeah, the actual time spent just dicking about in menus to actual watching the battles is, yeah, it's a pretty high ratio there.
Well, that's very similar to what you do in Football Manager and simulator games, I imagine.
Holy shit.
Essentially playing Football Manager.
This is Space Football Manager.
This game is ruined for me now.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But no, it is. It does sound very Football Manager because you spend all your time preparing the team and then you just play the 5-minute game.
But do you get to make a football player that looks like a Borg cube?
I can hit him until his head is square, I guess.
Is that an option? If that's an option, by the way, I might buy Football Manager. If there's a model your player section where you just get to hit it a bit until it changes shape, and then like, I like that shape, I'll deploy this shape in my fleet.
I'm afraid not. They've lost the sale there, John.
Well, that is clearly what they should be doing with Football Manager. You should be allowed complete freedom of control over the cosmetics of every player.
That's FIFA.
If we could have Borg players, then I would be satisfied.
Bring out the Klingon team.
I still want to see more Red Dwarf stuff in my life. I really do. Someone needs to make
Starbug.
Starbug. Yeah. And White Midget. And everything else. There are a lot of other much more minor spaceships that never had a lot of screen time. So I don't necessarily know if you know what many of them look like. There was the Hollow Ship.
Oh yes, I remember the Hollow Ship. Vaguely.
And there is the ability to project. One of the weapons you can unlock is the ability to project a hologrammatic copy of your ship. So if you made something look like the Hollow Ship and then projected a copy of it, it would actually be the Hollow Ship.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool, actually.
I quite like that idea.
Is that one of yours? Are you going to get on that, John?
No. I can't be bothered faffing around with the cosmetics to that degree. It's ridiculous.
But you'll make a Borg footballer in Football Manager.
Seriously, if you can give me Football Manager and allow me to make an entire team of, I don't know, midget footballers because I've got full control over the cosmetics and it's like, oh, let's make them all 4 foot tall. That would be entertaining.
I'll write to Sports Interactive and make them get on with that.
Yeah, seriously, just full cosmetic control. Every last thing, every last human detail that could be customized. What we want is Dragon Age kind of character customization for every player in a team.
Right, I'll get on that.
That's a selling point. Surely.
I don't think I could ever leave character creation. That's the part of the game I spend the longest on.
Well, then this is it appeals to exactly the same sort of person who spends hours making a Borg cube or the USS Constitution.
Fair point.
It's the same bit of your brain that likes that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be sinking a bit more time into that. I think
I'll play the first game. I know I have it through some miscellaneous bundle.
Right.
But I'll give it a go. See what it's like.
It's somewhere in the archive.
Yes.
It's one of those games that I know the developer always prices his games like a little bit more than everybody else does, and if you go into his Steam forums, there's a lot of people whinging. It's like, oh my god, your game costs £20.
Yeah.
What the hell? £20 is too much for a game. It's weird because people have been very, very much conditioned to pay a lot less for games at this point, and he's been in the industry a long time, so he's like, but I've spent years making this game. I feel like it's worth a bit more than that. Yeah. I know you're used to paying £5 for a game, but I feel like my game is worth a bit more than that. I've spent a lot of my life working on this.
Can you haggle with him and go, alright, I'll give you 6?
That's what Steam sales are for. I think it's the sort of game that will sell well in a Steam sale, but I feel like there's a lot of people are potentially going to be put off by the price point.
Which is a shame, because by the sounds of it, it sounds like a good game.
It is. I mean, again, going by the price point though, it kind of depends how much mileage you're going to get out of it. With a lot of games, I don't mind paying £9 not a lot of money if it's kind of short, and I don't know if this one's necessarily a lot longer than most games. If you're paying £20 for it, it's like, well, I'm going to want this game to last me a long time. I have sunk 8 hours in it total.
I'm not going to lie, from my own personal experience, Honey Pop was not worth the £6 I paid for it.
Well, you clearly have not experienced the joy of matching threes to porn.
What can I say? I'm not a normal person.
Yeah, I mean, some people. I feel like I potentially need to play quite a lot more of Gratuitous Space Battles 2 for me to have felt like I'd got my money's worth if I was not playing a review copy. I think I might be disappointed if I'd played like 8 hours and I was done with a £20 game.
You know, I've paid more and played less.
Really?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
It depends on the game, I think, but I don't know.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I was going to say, your mileage and standards may absolutely vary. I mean, there's plenty of games that I paid a bit for and gotten like maybe an hour out of it, and I've been like, I'm entirely happy with this. There are plenty of games where I can say I've done that. I don't know. I think it's when you compare those games. It's usually sort of games where you feel like you've gotten quite a lot out of playing 1 hour of that. With Gratuitous Space Battles 2, you can play it for an hour and have spent that entire hour in a menu. 1 hour of Gratuitous Space Battles 2 is not comparable to an hour of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas that is a crazy short game, but every moment of that is fantastic. Whereas Gratuitous Space Battles 2, I'm not denying I'm very much enjoying it, but like I say, just you can spend an hour in a menu. You can. You can and will. That's the nature of the game. But hey, this is the man who spent 3 hours modelling Cairo in City Skylines and still hasn't actually bothered finishing that and putting it into a working state, which I really should.
I hope you've abandoned it.
Egypt are counting on you.
I've sunk 3 hours into it now, so I kind of need to finish it at this stage. I can't just abandon 3 hours of work. For another 3, I could be finished.
Or you could potentially, save the rest of your life.
Right, if I finish modelling Cairo, I will die.
You'll be dead before then.
Podcast viewers, should John finish Cairo? Let us know in the comments.
Oh well. I probably won't, actually. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, I'd like to finish that, and I probably won't, because now I'm playing Gratuitous Space Battles and Titan Souls, and of course Crypt of the Necrodancer's out on Thursday.
Yay!
So playing that as well. So that's cool. I've delved back into it, and it's just like the stuff that's been added, and I can't remember how to play it well at all. I'm just running into skeletons and zombies and dying, and I'm like, oh god, I can't remember how to play this game.
Bard is how you play that game.
Bard is how I play that game, yes. I'll give you that one.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone
all
play
the way.
Sorry?
Sorry.
I'm Cadence all the way.
I have been playing with Cadence this time because I would like to play it properly with Cadence, but at the same time, as soon as I've done it with Cadence, I will go back to Bard because I get more out of the experience with Bard because I can strategize. Whereas Cadence is just too much sort of panic, things are going to eat me, oh god, I'm dying, oh, I'm dead. Whereas Bard, I can take my time and go, I will fight this dragon on my own terms rather than just have it eat my face. I will say, I'm a person who made a tutorial on how to fight red and blue dragons on YouTube. I can't for the life of me remember how to do that anymore.
You'll have to watch your own working.
I will. I'm going to have to watch my own tutorial. It's ridiculous. So yes, I'm going to be putting some time back into that. Cool. There's a lot of. You can throw daggers now. You couldn't throw daggers last time I played the game.
That's interesting.
And spears, which that makes sense. I don't know how they differ as projectiles. They seem like they would both do a very similar thing.
Yeah.
As melee weapons, they were very different, but in terms of projectiles, they seem like they'd be the same.
Do they differentiate? Are they specifically throwing weapons that you retrieve?
Sorry?
Are they like throwing weapons that you retrieve?
Yeah, well, you can use it. You can use it as you used to. If you've got a dagger, you can stab things in the face, or you can throw it at an enemy from a range, and it just travels in a straight line through all the enemies until it hits a wall, and then you have to go and pick it up again to be able to use it again. Yeah,
Cool. I like that.
which is kind of I can see getting some use out of it while I'm playing Bard, but with Cadence, it's too.
Yeah, it's chaotic.
Yeah, trying to find the right moment to use it, and then throwing away your weapon as well as part of your strategy, doesn't seem like something that could necessarily end well too often.
I mean, you could have another weapon in a holster.
You could, or what I was thinking is, if you've just got a weapon, if you've just found a dagger in a chest or something, you could pick up the dagger, throw it, and then pick up your old weapon, or, I don't know. If you've got a dagger and you found another weapon in a chest, throw away your dagger and then pick up the weapon or something, I don't know. Options. There are options.
Yes. So I assume there's going to be more than 4 levels now.
There are still only 3 levels at the time we were playing earlier today.
Oh.
I imagine the 4th level will unlock with the launch of the game. I would hope it would have to.
Only 4 levels?
Yeah.
Is there not some kind of story mode with more?
There is in fact a story mode now. I don't know quite how that differs. You have to, if you just go into level 1 and start playing the game, you just go into level 1 and start playing the game. But then when you go into character selection, it's like, go down these stairs to do story mode. I'm like, I feel like that should have been in the main room.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't take enough of a look at that to figure out how that differs from the normal do a level at a time kind of job.
Well, maybe this will all change on launch day.
Maybe. There's more rooms unlocked, which, come to think of it, I don't think I even checked out properly, so... There's definitely a lot more stuff in the lobby and things to find. And I only just found out this after recording, like, a video of it. You can actually change the resolution, for God's sake. That was overdue. That was very much overdue. I was sick of playing at whatever tiny resolution it used to run at. There's no reason for it not running at 1280 by 720. So, glad that's fixed. So yeah, that's cool. Let's Crypt and Necrodancer, get hype. Get hype. Get very hype. Only other thing I've taken a look at this week was the Charnel House trilogy, which was horror.
You did horror?
I know.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, me too. It was a slow news week. What can I say?
Yeah, don't expect much from the news section, just as a brief spoil.
Yeah, I had a gap in my schedule on Friday, and then who was the publisher for this? Christ, I should remember who the publisher was. Mastertronic, I guess, got in touch and was like, "Hey, we've got a review copy of this. Would you like to take a look at it?" I was like, "Thank God, something to put on my channel."
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, and they're looking at it, it's like, "Oh, it's horror. Oh." Well, all right, let's have a look at it.
Well, gotta get me some views.
Turned out it was pretty good.
Have you officially been turned to horror games?
No, not in the slightest, but it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. There's no jump scares at all. It's just kind of creepy weirdness. And it doesn't leave too much totally unaddressed. I think playing through it, I kind of realized 2 of my major gripes with it, with horror. Firstly, jump scares. Can't be dealing with that. And secondly, they never actually ever, quite frequently, never seem to explain anything that goes on. It's always like, ooh, spooky, paranormal, supernatural things.
Ooh.
That's it. Yeah, it's like, do you want to explain why spooky, paranormal, supernatural things are going on, or... No?
Couldn't
Okay.
afford the writer.
Yeah. This is never quite elaborated on.
San Francisco rent too much.
Yeah.
But when you find out it's the creepy guy who ran the carnival, it's not scary anymore.
Yeah, but I like closure. I like things to be... I like an explanation. What can I say? I'm a man of science. I like an explanation
If
for
nobody
things.
was unmasked at the end of the Scooby-Doo episode, John cried.
That's disappointing. Yes, you can't have Scooby-Doo without the unmasking.
It's always the janitor.
It is always the janitor, yes. Except when it was the old man.
Who was happened to be the caretaker.
Maybe,
So it was
yes.
sort of the janitor.
Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, that kind of grabbed me a little bit. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that's just like, this makes no sense, but I don't know. Less so than usual, I think.
You've got to tolerate that in horror games, though. If you're
Yeah,
into that genre.
it did have some slightly dodgy voice acting.
But sometimes that works in games.
They still they seem to be mostly going for famous names, whether or not they had any voice acting talent or not. I think I can't remember what it was. Margaret Rue, I think, was one of them. It was like best-selling author Margaret Rue, and I'm like, is she a voice actor on the side? Does she moonlight as a voice actor? Or I don't know. And there's a video games journalist, so and so, and I'm like, does he also moonlight as a voice actor? You know, it's Ashley Birch was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's a voice actor. She got 2 lines in the entire thing. And Jim Sterling, I was like, I can see where you're coming from. Jim Sterling has a job in which he uses his voice. He's not a trained actor to any extent, though. He doesn't do acting. It's all a bit hit and miss. And then some people just clearly didn't have a good microphone. There's one of these jobs that clearly everybody has just sort of been outsourced from all over the world, and just people just working from their own homes and sending the files in remotely. And some of the people just clearly didn't have a high-quality studio microphone in their house to work with, because they weren't voice actors. So I was like, yeah, okay, Ashley Birch has got a microphone. Sure, of course she does. Yeah, Jim Sterling records content for YouTube on a regular basis. Of course he's got a decent microphone. Everybody else is just like, yeah, I'm not sure the rest of them necessarily did.
Wait, the author doesn't have a microphone?
No, actually, to be fair, her audio quality was right. It was just some of the side characters that only had little bits of dialogue, or just sometimes it's like, this sounds like it was recorded on a potato.
Those are the best mics.
Yeah, the potato mics.
Yeah.
It's a bit hit and miss, but on the whole, I was a lot more positive on it than I ever expected to be from any horror game. Which is probably the best recommendation you will ever get from me about any horror game.
And
it was better than I expected.
Folks.
Yeah.
You're going to put that on your tombstone. It was better than I expected.
Yes. That will be my epitaph.
Speaking of epitaphs, that's a beautiful segue into our new segment, the Barry Chuckle Update of the Week.
I do know where you got that from.
Yep, I told you, Harry Hill.
The fact is that I've heard that, though, so I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I do know that one.
Yep, it has nothing to do with Harry Hill, and it may not be the TV highlight of the week theme, so let's all just pretend. And I am now on Google, just searching if Barry Chuckle is alive. Drumroll. The man is still among the living.
Sweet!
And I will also try to provide you with a Barry Chuckle rumour, because I've just seen this and it's made me laugh out loud.
What's this?
Apparently Barry Chuckle played Mr. Blobby in the 90s.
What?
That is a rumour. Do not take that as fact, but if that is true, I'm crying tears of joy.
Ooh! Can I also add one more thing to add? When I type Barry Chuckle into Chrome, the first autocomplete result is Barry Chuckle quickscopes a bin.
Yeah, I saw that.
I want to know what the context for that is. Barry Chuckle quickscopes a bin.
You also get a Barry Chuckle mask off Google if
appears to be a really, really awful YouTube video by somebody with the Tesco logo in the side, and oh god, I even want to know what that's about. I don't even care.
Do not
that sounds disastrous.
Do not besmirch the name of Barry Chuckle.
Yes.
Yep.
Is his real name Barry Elliott?
Yes, he has a Twitter.
He has a Twitter!
Baz Elliott.
Baz Elliott, yes. You can follow Barry Chuckle on Twitter. That's probably a good way to find out whether he's alive or not.
He tweeted a couple of hours ago, so I'm assuming Wikipedia's not lied.
Sweet. Cool.
You can also follow Paul on Twitter if you really want.
Why would you want to do that? Oh. Barry's the only one we care about.
Paul was just there.
Is he Paul Chuckle 2?
Paul
Chuckle 1 was taken.
Poor guy.
It is, yes, Paul Chuckle 2 is Paul Chuckle. I want to know who's Paul Chuckle 1 now.
That's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to look that up.
He's a Man United fan.
Paul Chuckle 1, you're an asshole.
And he doesn't appear to be anybody of any particular importance. He just happens to have to have Paul Chuckle's Twitter handle.
Poor Paul Chuckle.
What a dick.
That seems
Well,
like the
there we go.
perfect thing to move off on.
So, moving on to more Barry Chuckle, did you play Tomita Zoo that we talked about last week?
I have glanced it over. I haven't had a chance to play it in depth, but I've had a look at it, and the word interesting comes to mind.
Yeah, I played like a few minutes of it, and it's balls to the wall hard.
Yeah, just describe the Seal game, because I don't understand how this works.
Okay, so the Seal game involves Paul and Barry Chuckle each simultaneously running along a track of ice, carrying a fish, and being chased by a seal who wishes to eat the fish. In spite of the fact that the context of the game is Paul and Barry Chuckle have been tasked by the zookeeper with feeding the animals at the zoo, you would think that the seal would want to they would want to give this fish to the seal. No, they're running away from the seal for some reason.
I think the only logical explanation for this is this game has been set in the year 2015. The work has dried up since Chucklevision. Barry Chuckle has just noticed the chance that he may actually have dinner tonight.
Right.
That's the only thing that makes any logical sense.
Right, that must be it, yes. So along these icy tracks, there are gaps in them, there are holes that they must jump over, and there are, for some reason, hooks hanging from the ceiling, I think it was, which you have to duck under. And our dynamic duo must simultaneously jump over gaps and duck under hooks. And you only have control, you press up and down to jump and down to duck, straightforward enough, and you only have control of the character that has the fish at the time. So you have to press spacebar to throw the fish from one character to the other.
In the classic, to me?
Yeah, there is. Believe me, there is many to me's and to you's to be had.
The Chuckle Brothers know where their bread's buttered.
So you can only control one of the characters at a time, and that character then has to jump and duck respective things. But the sheer frequency of things that come at you requires the most inhuman coordination I've ever seen in my life. It's not plausible for any human to react to that. You need to be continually... The fish, they will quite frankly, it'll just be like hook on one side, oh, gap on the other, oh, now there's a gap on the other side, oh, now there's a hook on the first side. So you've got to flip the fish back and forth and then perform the respective actions for the right characters. And it's horrifying. It's really horrifying.
I think you'd have to be Rain Man.
Yes. Or have some sort of power to slow down time. Both good. Has someone got some sort of time dilation thing? Has anybody got Bernard's watch?
I'm sure it's kicking about.
So make more children's TV references, because we don't have enough.
Yeah, we really need to start getting more children's TV references into the show.
Yeah. I don't know what the theme tune for that one would be.
I'll look it up for next week.
Alright. So yes, Tomita Zoo, it seems this is a weird trend with like Flash games based around children's TV shows where they're all horrifyingly hard.
Well, are kids really good at Flash games or something? That's about to make them hard.
They have to be, I guess. Yeah, kids must be superhumanly good at Flash. There's some others, and I'm trying to think what they are. Super hard kids Flash games. I bet Google will tell us the answer to this. I know there's Winnie the Pooh's Home Run Derby. It's definitely one of them.
That's very hard.
Which, yeah, that required ridiculous reflexes. No, I'm not finding anything useful. Thanks, Google.
So
there are just
two.
Those are two noteworthy ones, yes. I guess. There's definitely some others, and I can't think what they are. YouTube will have the answer. Go to PewDiePie's channel, he'll have them all.
Yep, they're somewhere. They're kicking about.
And there are many channels that will cash in on that particular genre of thing. And I'm surprised. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if a PewDiePie hasn't done Tomita Zoo.
You would have thought he would have done this by now.
Actually, again, I'm now going to have a look at Tomita Zoo. Let's have a look on YouTube and see who's played Tomita Zoo.
We're about to do some name dropping, boys and girls.
No one.
Wow, John, get on that.
Actually, no. There's one.
Ah!
Tanuki TV 2 months ago with 35 views playing Tomita Zoo. The problem is I don't want to do it because it's so horrible. Like I say, I played a few minutes of it and it's so horrible. A little bit in me was like, hey, this would be great YouTube fodder. Not that YouTube fodder is my usual kind of content on my stuff. I don't normally go for the kind of videos that are just PewDieBait, as it were. And this game is totally PewDieBait. But it was like, oh yeah, this would make great entertainment for the YouTubes. Yes, I should get in on that, and if nobody else has, and apparently nobody else has. But at the same time, it's so horrible, I don't want to play it, like, at all.
which is always good endorsement for a game.
Yeah, it's got a few mini games. There's like a vertical one which plays pretty much the same as the seal one, which requires you climbing up a cliff and throwing a bone between you for some reason. And the only way to dodge boulders falling off of this cliff is by having a bone in your backpack.
Yep, because bones stop boulders.
Yep.
Physics.
And then when you get to the top, you get to play a kind of a shooting gallery kind of thing where Paul or Barry, I'm not sure which, one of them throws bones to the other one, and then they have to throw bones to vultures to feed them.
The one with the moustache, yeah.
I can't remember who was doing what, to be honest, within the context of that. And yes, there is much to me to you to be found in that, yes, so...
Which is all you want in the game, really.
Yeah, it's kind of you've got limited ammunition to feed the vultures with by throwing bones at them, because apparently they live off bones and bones alone, I guess. No meat needed.
And zoos are well known for keeping vultures.
Yes. Well, I think they do keep vultures, don't they? I'm sure they must. Whether they feed them on raw bones and nothing else, I don't know. I suspect not. But nonetheless, yeah, you can only reload one at a time, so you're frantically mashing spacebar to try and reload by throwing bones from one character to the other, and then you have to click with the mouse to shoot them at the vultures. Which kind of... Well, at first I figured it would be like any other game where you press reload and the whole lot gets reloaded. Like, oh, you press reload and there we go, I've got a full clip again. No, you have to reload them one bone at a time, so it's kind of frantic mashing both. So it's all horrible. It's all pretty bad.
Oh dear. Chuckle Brothers have failed us in game 4.
Right, yeah, that's what they have done.
Pity.
Failed us utterly. Right, we've been through, I think, most of what we've played this week, and we seem to have lost Will at some point, so...
He's had a power out, apparently.
Oh, has he? Is that... Oh.
No, he didn't just leave because he was outraged disgusted with the Chuckle Brother game.
Well, okay, I didn't know. I've received no such message. So we'll take a break, which will give us time to go make a cup of tea, and Will to get things sorted again, and we'll come back with a full crew and talk about gaming news and releases.
We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors. Bottom Mash Podcast is back.
Welcome back to the Bottom Mash Podcast. We're going to try and do gaming news.
And no gaming news and gossip.
And now barrel scraping. Because there's nothing.
Yeah, those barrels need cleaning.
The barrels are goddamn pristine. Nothing left in them. They're immaculate barrels.
Alright, let's pad this out. Let's.
How many ways can we describe clean barrels? Because we have scraped them so thoroughly.
I can see every grain of wood.
Yes. It's been slow for a few weeks. This week there's like nothing. There's just nothing. It's really quiet.
We found these gems.
I found the following gems. The following gems are 2K Australia is closing down, or has closed down, or some point around this point in time is to be closed.
So if you're in Australia, oh dear.
This is mostly significant because it was the last AAA developer in Australia. So there are now no more AAA developers in Australia. It is entirely an indie country. Which, to be fair, actually, I've seen quite a few games come out of Australia in the last few months. It seems to have a pretty strong indie scene. So I don't know how this would affect it, because in this kind of global world that we have, I don't necessarily know that your physical location makes a great deal of difference. Whether there is a AAA studio in Australia or not, I don't know whether that's a big deal to the world or not.
Doesn't seem like it's that disastrous of a thing.
Yeah, as I say,
maybe for Australian industry.
But like I say, in terms of game development in Australia, the indie scene is pretty much thriving. There's a lot of indie devs in Australia that are doing pretty good for themselves. Which ones? I've taken a look at a few lately. I can't quite think whether they... It was either Hero Generations or Paperbound, I think, was certainly was Australian. I think there's a couple of ones I've taken a look at lately that are Australian. I've been like, hey, I seem to be getting a lot of Australian games. This is kind of cool. But yeah, that. If you're wanting to work in the AAA games industry in Australia, you may be out of options now. You might need to move to San Francisco.
Oh no.
Or
From
somewhere
that one
else.
sunny place to the other.
Yes. Or you can move to Bradford, as we've recommended on many an occasion.
We've done wonders for the Bradford tourist industry.
Mm-hmm. All these AAA game developers we've got over here.
No checks.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic. I suppose we've got Rockstar North just round the corner. So, could do worse.
Yeah.
Is it Rockstar North or is it Rockstar Leeds? Is North Leeds or is North Edinburgh? I forget which one's which. There's two. There's one in Leeds and one in Edinburgh, and I forget one of them. One of them is North, and I think it might be Edinburgh that's North. I think Rockstar
Makes
Leeds
sense
might just
for
be
it to
Rockstar Leeds.
Makes sense for Edinburgh to be north because it's north.
It is more north, yes.
Geography with button mash.
Yes. Well, what if they set up a studio at the North Pole? How will they classify it then? Or shall we cross that bridge when we get to it?
Beyond the Wall.
Hey, there you go.
Right.
I think we padded that out.
So yeah, 2K Australia are. They've been credited with Borderlands the pre-sequel, but they also, if you check the Wikipedia article, they're credited with all the BioShocks as well as some of the XCOM stuff as well. So it seems like they've had a hand in a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. They're not necessarily names that you don't necessarily. If you asked anybody who made those games, I don't think anyone would turn around and go, "Yeah, it was obviously 2K Australia." Like they're not a household name for me at any rate.
The only one I've ever heard off the top of my head would be Bioshock.
Well, yeah, the games are certainly household names, but the studio, I was going to say, if someone had turned around to you and said, who made Bioshock, nobody goes, oh, it was 2K Australia. Irrational is the people behind Bioshock, surely? Yeah, surely those are the people you'd think of as doing Bioshock, not 2K Australia. Likewise, Borderlands, if you'd said that, I would have said Gearbox, surely, not 2K Australia, but I don't know.
I don't really say the studios where games are made, though, when you're discussing games.
Sorry?
You don't really discuss the studio, though, when you're discussing games. You just go with who made it.
Well, the studio is who made it. Who else made it?
The physical location, I meant.
Well, yeah, okay, but the name of this studio is 2K Australia. The location is part of their name.
I
2K is like we just said with Rockstar having branches all over. 2K is exactly the same. They've got 2K Australia, they'll have 2K elsewhere, and 2K somewhere else, and 2K somewhere else. This is just specifically 2K Australia is closed down. It was like if they said, oh, Rockstar Leeds is shutting down. It doesn't mean Rockstar is shutting down, it means that particular branch.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of deal. But, yeah, I was going to say, if you'd ever asked me to point out something 2K Australia made, I would probably not have been able to tell you it. It seems like them probably maybe more involved, sort of contributing towards projects, maybe involved in ports and things necessarily, than actually making the games outright. I don't know. Either way, best of luck to those who worked there, and hope you go indie and make awesome things. Or, well, I was going to say, or find other jobs elsewhere, but if they are the last AAA developer, that seems like that might be slightly difficult. I think the options are indie.
Indie games or itchy shoes, one of the two.
Yeah. Oh well. Go indie. It's a better option. Shoes aren't tasty.
Depends what kind of shoe it is.
Chocolate shoes. I don't
All
think many
brown
people wear
shoes taste like chocolate.
Sorry?
All brown shoes taste like chocolate.
Yes. Alrighty, well that's that barrel scraped. Next one. Will, you found this.
Next barrel. The co-creator of Pirate Bay is being denied access to Nintendo.
My God.
Specifically Nintendo, because that is what he asked for.
He's got a PS4 and an Xbox One, but not a Nintendo.
Yeah, that's kind of strange, and the reasoning for this is because they can't assure that the NES doesn't have concealed items in it? Wait, what? How does that make sense?
This is like one of... They're presuming that prison breaks are still happening with by mail.
By cake, yeah.
By cake. Oh, those prison bars. So wearable.
That's really strange. I mean, what, as you say, if they have access to other things, why would something be smuggled in a NES but not in another in anything else that they're giving the guy access to? Also, I'm pretty sure you can crack the case off a NES and check to see there's a file in it without destroying it.
Yeah, but these are security guards in a prison. They're not.
They don't have access to a screwdriver.
Yeah, but they're not going to physically take it apart and look at all the engineering, are they?
Well, they're cracking down on.
I'm not. I think they can be. I think they can care less about the wiring. I think if there's a file in the NES, it would be reasonably noticeable. It's like when you take a slice out of a cake, you kind of notice when there's a file hidden in the cake.
It depends where you put that file in that cake.
It's one of the first things you will notice.
The edge.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, then you have to eat a lot of cake before you get to it. But usually, it'll be fairly obvious when you come across it. You'll tend to notice. You're not going to accidentally swallow the file and go, shit, well, there was supposed to be a file in this cake. I don't know where it is. The NES is much the same. If you take a screwdriver to a NES and take the bottom off it, and you look inside it, you can usually, at a glance, go, yeah, there's a file in there, or no, there isn't a file in there. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're just being dicks for the sake of it, because, I don't know.
To be fair, the guy is in jail.
I'm sorry.
One can make an argument about prisoners not being given access to anything.
Well, if they're given Xboxes, I don't see why a NES is such a weird thing. I don't know.
I was joking about that. I don't know whether he actually has one, to be brutally honest.
You usually hear about prisoners having pretty good access to entertainment stuff. I have no idea whether there's anything to back these up. But you usually do quite frequently hear about prisoners going to jail and just sit and play an Xbox 360 or something. Whether that's true or not, or whether these are equally unfounded rumours from the same source that you got yours from, I don't know. But yeah, that's the non-news of the week. That's a guy who's in prison doesn't have access to all the luxuries of people who aren't in prison.
Go figure.
Whether the guy should be in prison or not is very much a matter of contention, but nonetheless. I mean, I'm presuming he was arrested for running the Pirate Bay and not for something entirely else, right?
Yeah.
Whether that is a crime or not is an entirely different thing, but hey. Clearly the courts decided it was.
We have to trust the justice system.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero is back. Sort of. It is back, I guess. It's back in a different form.
It's back, but if you previously owned it, you're in for a very lovely surprise.
Yeah, they've kind of redone everything and changed everything. So, Guitar Hero Live, everything's just kind of been unveiled over the course of this last week. All the new things that it has. It's Guitar Hero, but it's live. They've changed it, so it looks kind of different to the last one, which required them to design an entirely new controller, and the controller is completely incompatible with all the previous games you had.
So, if you spent a fortune on Guitar Hero songs, well, yeah.
I think is the answer to that, yeah. If you spent a fortune on DLC for Guitar Hero, sucks to be you, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, Guitar Hero Live has now got 3 buttons in 2 rows, so you got 6 in kind of a 3x2 grid, and the interface is now 3 lines, all in a kind of a more bland, generic black and white format. It's not as vibrant as it used to be, and you'll now be playing in front of a live audience, which I'm not rightly sure how that works. I'm assured it's fairly effective, but that sounds kind of weird, because, like, what if you start failing? How do they seamlessly transition a live audience from cheering for you into booing you? Seems like kind of an odd one. I don't know. But yeah, given that Rock Band are currently doing a reboot thing, well, bringing it back, and I think Rock Band is supposed to be compatible with the old ones, right? I haven't heard otherwise, unless you guys know anything.
I don't think any of us really play Rock Band to any great degree.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of the big significant things that we have at our events, so we really should know something. I'm sure, either way, there's Rock Band 4 in works, and... Oh, yeah, okay, I've immediately got an article here. In Rock Band 4, all of your 2,000 plus songs will work in Rock Band 4. any all your previously purchased content and any songs you ripped from previous Rock Band games to sequels will work in Rock Band 4 from Xbox 360 to Xbox One and PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. It's 2,000 plus songs, no joke. So Rock Band 4, they're just, hey, it's more, and it works with all your old stuff. So that's going to be a big selling point over Guitar Hero, I feel.
Yeah.
When Guitar Hero are like, hey, you bought all these songs? No, they don't work. And Rock Band are like, hey, you bought 2,000 songs? Yeah, you can still use them, that's fine. I think a lot of people are going to opt to buy the Rock Band. But I suppose it's kind of one of those things, it depends kind of which ecosystem you were part of, I suppose. I guess if you already invested a lot of money in Guitar Hero, you won't have those Rock Band songs to bring up to date with a new Rock Band. So there's an element of that as well. But at that point, I guess it doesn't really make much difference which one you go for, because you're going to get no songs either way. It's an interesting concept, but the whole, when the competition's offering much more than you, it seems like it's a route that's kind of shooting itself in the foot a little bit. I understand that it's an old franchise that a lot of people think are pretty stale at this point. Most people really... I mean, the people who are really enthused about Rock Band are few and far between these days. So... They're kind of trying to reinvent it a bit, just to bring it back, bring it up to date, make it relevant again.
But you've got to make it accessible for those people who have invested so much money in it. You don't want to be crippling them by making them buy all that shit again.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Rock Band sounds like they're doing it right, but I guess by extension, Rock Band probably can't innovate too much from the established formula, otherwise they would break it. And maybe people who are like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of tired of Rock Band, we've been playing it for years, and they've put out many, many, many iterations of it, and they're all kind of the same. Well, is Rock Band 4 going to bring anything new to the table that actually makes it worthwhile, or is it, again, more of the same that everyone got bored of years ago? Whereas, I guess maybe with Guitar Hero Live, they're kind of trying to reinvent something that was up to this point stale. So like, well, okay, let's just... let's burn the bridges, let's just say, okay, that what's in the past is the past. This is a new thing. Let's try and make something new and fresh that people can actually engage with. That seems like potentially what they're trying to do, I guess. That's my take on it.
Well, maybe wait after the release date and see what people have to say about it then.
Yeah.
Let other people buy it first.
I suspect it's probably not something I'm going to particularly investing in either way anyway. I don't think I particularly care for either or at this point.
No.
I am very much with the crowd that's like, yeah, it was fun at the time. It's been around, like, quite a while now. I mean, hell, when was the first one? The first one's going back a bit. Probably, it's got to be 10 years or more now, surely.
Something like that.
I would have thought, yeah, so... It's old stuff indeed. Anyway, let's move on to new stuff. Let's see what's coming out new this week.
And now new game releases for the week.
I already did a segue, but okay.
Sorry, I did a jingle.
Alright, week commencing April 19th, apparently. We have Shovel Knight. I'm pretty sure that's already out. Shovel Knight is going to your PlayStations this week. If you wish to play for Chivalry, you can do that on your PlayStations now. If you had a PC, you could have done it a long time before that, though.
As many of us have.
It is very highly acclaimed, very well recommended by damn near everybody, I think. Particularly you, Will.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Go buy it. Will says so.
Haha.
Ascreed Chronicles China for the Bone and the PC and the PS4. This appears to be a kind of a new take on Assassin's Creed in a different kind of way. It's a 2.5D platformy slashy thing. It looks very different to anything we've seen from Assassin's Creed before.
What's in China for a start? I don't think of it.
Well, yes, but the setting really doesn't matter. Assassin's Creed is usually the same thing, stabby, regardless of where in the world they put it. They put it all over the world and then make you do stabby in different countries, usually. The fact is that, yeah, normally it's not this weird 2.5D kind of thing. Which is kind of strange. I really don't follow the Assassin's Creed franchise too closely, so I can't really tell you a lot more about it. I'd say I can't for the life of me remember what it is, but it reminded me very, very closely of a game I took a look at a few months back. and I will be damned if I can remember what the hell it was called. There is a game I took a kind of an early look at on Steam, and I really enjoyed it. It looks like very, very much a similar kind of thing. And if I ever remember what it was called, I will be sure to let you know. I'm gonna have to look this up now. As is always the way, I'm gonna have to look it up. We have Sayonara Umihara Kawase Plus.
I suspect this might be Japanese.
It might be. It appears to be translated as Yumi's Odd Odyssey within Western territories. It is a puzzle platformer for the 3DS and Vita, apparently. Which is, I'll be honest, not what I expected from a name like that. I was very much expecting the name like that. It was just like, this is anime bullshit. No, this is... Well, okay, it's definitely got anime going on the box art, but the game's...
Game's very different.
Yeah, what is this? The hell are we looking at? How strange. There's something about a large fish and a girl jumping over a large fish. It's a very strange Japanese puzzle platformer thing, I guess.
Yes, this yeah, it does.
Not what I expected in the slightest. There you go.
No.
Well,
Fair
pleasant
enough.
surprise.
I don't know they necessarily looks particularly great, but yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's intriguing.
It is intriguing, that is what it is. Ziggurats. I don't know a lot about this. I believe this is a first-person shooter roguelike thing, though? I seem to recall someone at some point making a comparison to Tower of Guns, which is, for me, the definitive first-person shooter roguelike thing. It is described as a first-person dungeon crawler, so a lot of spell slinging rather than actually shooting guns, I guess. Feel free to chime in, guys.
Sorry, I'm watching the trailer for it.
Alright.
It looks fairly cool. It's got some kind of steampunk guns in it as well.
Well, where have you even got a trailer from anyway?
Steam.
I was on. I thought it was already out on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh right, I'm going through our Giant Bomb list, but okay. Yeah, it's already out on Steam. It is coming out on PS4, so.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go to a PS4 site.
Well.
For a trailer I know I can get on Steam.
Well, okay. I can't be bothered doing that kind of search. I'm not that
Well,
competent.
I did it for you, and there are carrots, zombie carrots, and steampunks, and lots of shooty magic missiles. So yeah, it looks pretty cool actually.
That's interesting.
Alright.
It combines two of John's pet hates, but his love of steampunk.
And carrots.
Sorry, what were my two pet hates?
Zombies and carrots.
I was like, carrots? That one's news to me. Hang on, what?
It's in the trailer. I'm just watching carrots try to eat somebody.
Okay.
I remember many a time when you've told me how much you hate the carrot.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. I don't remember this. Sure, I hate carrots. I'm going through my list now, trying to find out what that bloody game was that I can't remember what it was. Took a look at it at some point. I've just seen the name on the list somewhere. It's called my Shadow Blade Reload, I think is what it was.
I think I have that in my library actually.
Yes, Shadow Blade Reload, that was the one. Yes, that's... I think that new Assassin's Creed looks a lot like Shadow Blade Reload, and Shadow Blade Reload was actually really good. I really enjoyed that. That was kind of cool. Yeah, kind of a ninja thing running around, a lot of sort of N+ kind of platformy stuff, but at the same time stabbing people in the back because you're a ninja. So, that was cool. It seems like Assassin's Creed would follow that kind of formula as well. That's what I will say on that one. Anyway, LA Cops for PS4. This came out on PC not so long ago. I did not hear anything particularly good about it. It's from Team 17, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
We're holding grudges or anything.
I'm totally holding a grudge and I make no secret about it. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, new and tasty.
I always loved Abe. Abe was a good guy.
This is for PS3. It's already out on a bunch of other stuff, so this is a remake of the original one. So Abe's Odyssey they've done the new remastered HD version, so you can enjoy it all again. It's not something I ever really got into, but I believe it is beloved of many.
I loved Abe. I loved playing this game on PS1, actually.
We had the demo on PS1, and that was all. I don't remember a lot about it. I don't remember being terribly compelled by it. It was one of those things. It was one of those things at the time. Was like, we are poor and penniless children, but we have demos, so let's play demos to death.
Hey, those demos that you always got with the magazines.
Yeah, I mean, we had Vigilante 8 was the one I just played endlessly. It was like one level, and I played that one very, very thoroughly. I never did pick that up when they released it on GameCube years later. Oh well.
It's not too late.
It is not too late. I don't think they'll get any money for it if I go down to pick it up as a second-hand copy at CEX or whatever. Infinity Runner is a sci-fi themed first-person action runner. 32-person multiplayer and Oculus Rift support.
It has werewolves.
Yeah, really? Werewolves?
Yeah. Sci-fi werewolves.
Why? God.
Sci-fi werewolves.
It apparently styles itself as a parkour game, and there are an astonishing amount of screenshots of werewolves for a sci-fi parkour game.
It's an odd combination.
It's a little bit bizarre, yes. What the hell? Is this kind of an asymmetrical multiplayer kind of deal, like where one team's werewolves and they're trying to hunt everyone else? Is this like Natural Selection 2 kind of stuff?
Maybe.
But with more parkour?
And werewolves?
And Oculus Rift?
Maybe.
Is it? Hang on.
This is already on Steam as well.
Is it actually?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Cool. That's the thing.
You know what the Wii needed?
Is it more DS games?
Yep. And you know what genre of game they needed?
Is it Mario Kart?
How did you know?
Because the Mario Kart DS is out, like, soon.
Hey.
On April 23rd. Mario Kart DS is out for the Wii U.
Yeah, if you like Mario Kart, you want to play it on the DS?
But there's already a Mario Kart for the DS, and there's already a Mario Kart for the Wii U. Why do you need that? The 3DS, that is there not? There is a Mario Kart for 3DS, is there not? Mario Kart 7 was 3DS, was it not?
Yeah, I think it was.
And then Mario Kart 8 has literally just come out on the Wii U.
Yep.
There is, like, no market for this game. Oh, dear. I'm pretty sure I had this as well on the DS as well at some stage. Can't remember whether it was any good or not.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I remember the definitive version for me was the GameCube version, which was great. This is... I also had the GBA version, and I had totally forgotten I had this version, which means it totally, completely did not stick in my mind in any way, shape, or form. It's completely unnoteworthy, I feel, in the Mario Kart franchise. For me personally...
Oh dear.
For the iPad, we have Forgotten Memories, Alternate Realities. It's survival horror for the iPad with no information whatsoever on it. You must brave dangers in an abandoned psychiatric hospital, searching for a missing girl. It's always a psychiatric hospital. If anything weird's going to go on, it will be in a psychiatric hospital.
Well, that's a good place for something weird to happen, isn't it?
Indeed, indeed. So, let's take a look at some Steam stuff.
Hey.
Because we've delayed recording this till Monday, now there's stuff on this list that that isn't there anymore. We've got Fermi's Path, which I'm going to have to look up. Fermi's Path. Can't just browse my list. Is I remember looking at this at some point. You are a subatomic particle flying along a tube for some reason, and you need to jump over and under various obstacles and collect things while spinning around the tube. It's a rage game, I'm pretty sure. It
doesn't sound particularly compelling, if I'm honest.
It's kind of pretty, but it's clearly, watching the trailer, it's clearly there just to piss you off. It's one of those games that you just play and you're like, this is bullshit, I don't want to play this anymore. I never really got rage games. It's like, surely you don't want to piss players off by making it so difficult that nobody can complete it, but I don't know. I guess there's a market. Some people like that. YouTube loves it, I guess. People love to see people angry. So Fermi's Path if you want angry people. We have Slow Down, Bull, which is a game about bulls.
No.
I don't know. I'm looking this up. So it is about bulls.
Oh, good.
It's from the creators of Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, and Sunset Overdrive.
Ah.
And it's slightly different genre to Sunset Overdrive. It's something about propelling balls around fields. I don't know, I guess it's kind of a puzzle thing. It looks like it's designed for a tablet, if I'm honest. Seems like a tablet game. Cute little style. It's all doing a sort of papercraft kind of way. It's arts and crafts kind of thing. You got lollipop sticks making the borders of the thing. You got sweet wrappers and things all over the board. Cute style. I don't know. I guess it seems like it's. Seems like it'd be a kind of a puzzly kind of thing. There you go. That's Slow Down, Bull. We have Chasm.
Chasm.
I've got this on this list, actually. This doesn't actually have... Is this actually out? It says release date 2015. I'm not sure whether this is actually out.
That's vague.
Yeah, it's casting a broad net there. It's shown up in the list for this.
I think Raven's Cry should have followed a similar pattern.
Yeah, as well as our perennial favourite. Yeah, I have no idea if this is actually out this week. I remember taking a look at this at PAX last year, and it was pretty bland and uninspiring, if I'm honest.
Oh dear.
I don't know. I played it, and it was just like, there's like literally nothing to compel me to play this. It's just nothing particularly innovative whatsoever. It's fairly pretty, but that's all it's got going on. RPG dungeon crawly hack and slashy 2D thing. That's about it. This next one's fun. Oh, this next one's really fun.
It has a great name.
Bloodbath Kavkaz. Have you seen this logo before, guys?
I'm afraid I haven't, no.
It looks really familiar.
No.
Will, you must be Are you not familiar with a game by the name of Hotline Miami?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Does it not look a little bit like Hotline Miami?
It looks very much like Hotline Miami.
It's a goddamn Hotline Miami clone. The entire game is a Hotline Miami. Oh, well, okay. I'll confess. I've been onto their Steam forums to have a look at a discussion and see what people are saying. There are some very, very angry Russian people who are defending it to the hilt, insisting that it is absolutely not a Hotline Miami clone.
So the Russians like it.
Yeah, well, it is set in Russia and it is made by a Russian team. It is jump into the atmosphere of Moscow night and insane combat. It looks like the graphical style is identical to Hotline Miami. It's got that same weird kind of trippy visuals, color changing, and the screen sways back and forth as you're playing, exactly the same as Hotline Miami does. The logo looks like Hotline Miami, and just in case you needed another nail in the coffin, they changed the name to Bloodbath Kavkaz from Hotline Kavkaz. They were forced to change the name by the guys who made Hotline Miami. I'm surprised they allowed them to put the game on Steam at all, if I'm completely honest. So that's really impressive that Steam even allows this to exist. That's an absolute goddamn travesty of copyright infringement. Right there.
It does make one wonder.
It really, that's just astonishing in every way, shape and form. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Moving on, we got, what else we got? We have got Wild Frontera, which sounds Western.
Yep. That's
kind of looking a bit Western. It's a top-down action shooter where the player must escape to the frontier by fighting hordes of enemies and spectacular bosses in a fast-paced and challenging game.
We've had a few Western twin-stick shooters in recent months, haven't we?
I feel like we have, actually, yeah. It's kind of saying it's a familiar-sounding kind of theme.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't dislike my twin-stick shooters. I'm in favour of more of those. And also Western things. Westerns are cool as well, so... I can't say, watching the trailer, I can't say it's something that I'm like, yeah, I have to play this. It kind of like, this is pretty average looking, but nonetheless, I'm okay with both twin-stick shooters and Westerns.
It looks very much like All Zombies Must Die.
Yeah.
Did I play that one?
I played that one a long time ago.
I was going to say, it's a name that rings a bell, and I feel like I have played it, but I can't remember whether I had or not.
There is actually a review on our website, which I wrote.
Oh, that might be where I recall it from.
You've done a
Yes.
segue, sir. Where can people go to view that?
button-mash.net.
If you can find the blog on there, I don't know. Can you find the blog on there?
I don't know. I haven't
I
checked
don't
in
know.
a long
I don't know
time.
if you can even find those old articles anymore.
I think you can.
Sunil redesigned the website. I don't know if he hid all that stuff at some point. I don't know whether that still exists.
It's in a shame corner somewhere.
It is somewhere. Oh no, there is. Yeah, there is a link at the top of the page that says blog. It'll be in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
still available.
Yeah, if you want to read our early attempts at game journalism, go.
Ancient pseudo game journalism stuff. Yeah. We've got Highlands. Highlands is something about floating islands. It's a hand-drawn, turn-based strategy game with unique characters, resource management, and RPG elements. It looks kind of cute. I like the style of this. Very nice looking game.
Well, if a game looks cute, that's all I need to know.
Okay, I can't say much about it. It doesn't really illustrate too well what's actually going on, but I like the style, if nothing else.
It reminds me of Banner Saga.
A little bit, yes, actually, yeah. Not that I played that, but I'm familiar with the style of it, yes.
Ditto.
We also have... I should probably get a move on. We've actually got quite a list here.
I thought we did this last week. We Are Doomed.
We probably did. It's probably been delayed. I think we did. We Are Doomed. We looked at it last week. Twin stick shooter with some trippy style and crazy polygon baddies. I'm pretty sure we did look at that.
Yeah.
You've broken your own rule by having an early access game.
Was We Are Doomed early access?
No, sorry, I was looking at the one underneath. Killing Floor 2.
Oh, yeah, I figured that was probably noteworthy enough to make mention of.
Ah, fair enough.
Ki Resonance is a 2D fighting game with samurai that looks like it's inspired by Nidhogg. I would have said a little bit. But I don't know. It doesn't... I don't know. It's got a very Japanese art style. The trailer just makes it look a bit clunky, though.
That's really clunky. I don't like that.
It doesn't feel like that would be good to play. I mean, I might be totally wrong. Like, it's very hard to actually make out quite what's going on with it. It seems like it's got a very kind of a niche kind of combat. It's one hit off guard is fatal. But I don't know. It doesn't look like it plays well. Just looking at the trailer.
No.
A bit weird.
It's kind of got. I think it's trying to obviously not emulate Blade Symphony, where you've got. It's the same kind of system where if you're in the correct stance, you can block something, or you can make certain attacks. But if you're not in the correct stance, you're vulnerable to other stances.
Oh, possibly that might be it. Yeah. Oh well, there you go. Killing Floor 2. It is early access. It is out on early access, but yeah, everybody I know has been squealing over press copies for like the last 2 weeks now. I was like, oh my god, Killing Floor 2 is so good. I hear tell it's a bit good. I don't know if it's necessarily my thing, but it looks pretty decent. It's a zombie horde thing. It's very much, well, it's the first one, but much prettier, probably much more polished. I can't say I cared for the first one. It looks closer to Left 4 Dead in terms of gameplay, I think, from what I've seen of footage anyway. So, I quite enjoyed Left 4 Dead, but I can't say I enjoyed what I played of Killing Floor, so I don't know.
No, Killing Floor was rather limited and samey in pretty much all the matches.
Yeah, well, I only played a little bit. I probably played at really the wrong time. I played during Valve's Potato Pack, which was their alternate reality game launch of Portal 2. And one of the games as part of that promotion was Killing Floor, so for at least a part of it, in order to try and speed up the launch of Portal 2, I was forced to play a bit of Killing Floor. You got Portal 2 like about 3 seconds faster because I played Killing Floor.
And I am eternally grateful.
And then it launched at like 4 AM in the
And nevertheless, I stayed up for it.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah.
I think I went to bed about 3:30 because it didn't seem like anyone was making any progress, and then it launched, and then I woke up at like 8 to check out what was going on. It was like, hey, Portal's here, let's play that.
And I was already playing it.
Fair enough. So yeah, the actual amount of time I shaved off of it just by actually getting involved in that, it was completely worthless. I could have just waited to get up in the morning and the game would have been there. God damn it. Oh well. Never mind. I quite enjoyed that little alternate reality game thing they had anyway.
Mm.
We have... Ooh, actually there's... This list has changed in order a bit since when I compiled it initially. We've got Convoy. Convoy is a tactical roguelike inspired by Mad Max and FTL, in which you cross a wasteland in search of parts for your broken ship. Which is kind of strange. There's some spaceships going on, and then there's like driving across a desert in various vehicles and stuff. Various kind of post-apocalyptic stuff. You can see the Mad Max influences, certainly.
Mildly.
Strange kind of beast.
Interesting.
Okay, that's the thing. We have... I should have recompiled this list this afternoon or something, but we've got... on here we've got Super Furball. Super Furball is a rollicking action platformer, apparently, inspired by the greats of the DOS and NES era. It looks pretty bad.
That's
The protagonist is a circle.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. It looked like it was the circle. No, I guess the circle's the bad guy. You are in fact a furball.
Fighting a circle.
Yes, very retro, platformy, shooty thing. As are all the things these days.
Let's move on.
The Clans Saga of the Twins, which is another one that is not necessarily what I thought it was going to be. Absolutely looks like anime bullshit. Upon closer inspection, it appears to be anime RPG Maker stuff. Which I really should get out of the habit of dismissing these, because some of the best games I've played have been RPG Maker. But the fun game I always play with screenshots of RPG Maker stuff is, can I spot the stock textures they're using?
That's the
All right.
test.
Are they using anything that I can point to and say that's a stock texture from RPG Maker? I'm pretty sure the trees are, yes. I think that may well be. It's anime, it has cat girls.
Hey.
If that's the kind of thing that sells you on a game, that's probably all you wanted to know about it.
And if you really like airports...
If you really like airports, do we have a game for you? You can become the hero of the taxiway. With Airport Simulator 2015.
My dream is about to come true, lads.
That is, perhaps unsurprisingly, by a German company.
Shock horror.
As it always is. It looks awful, as it always does.
Yep.
And I don't think you even get to fly a plane.
That seems like a flaw in the Airport Simulator game.
No, you get to do everything else. You get to de-ice the planes. And you apparently get a snowplow, I guess. You get to clear all the snow off the runway so the planes can take off. And you are never allowed behind the actual controls of a plane. No, you are to shuttle people back and forth between the planes and clear the snow off the runway.
No, you don't fly that plane in that airport simulation game.
Yeah. It's everything except flying the plane.
Which would be the only reason someone would buy it.
Well, then you might want to get Flight Simulator instead, but hey.
Next game.
Oh well. Next game. We'll Fight for Food. A super actual sellout game of the hour. Is an RPG brawler with a ridiculously complicated conversation system, so it claims. Or you can just beat up everyone you meet, you psycho. If it didn't look as bad as it does, I'd say that pitch was actually kind of entertaining. It was like, oh, it's got a really complex conversation system, or you can just punch everybody. That sounds kind of cool. But it looks really bad. It really does.
Yeah, awful. I can see that now.
Yeah, it's troublingly bad.
We have Judge Dredd Countdown Sector 106 is Tin Man Games. It's an adventure game, books, nothing kind of thing. So prepare to get fucked over by dice rolls. That's how those ones go. Choose your own adventure and roll dice and you die because dice says no. Yep, that kind of game. Love them.
Who doesn't?
We've got Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine is about the player's escape from a rundown factory following a large explosion. It's kind of a Super Meat Boy VVVVVV kind of thing, I think. Very minimalist style, running, wall jumping, avoiding a lot of spikes. That kind of thing.
I'm misled. I was hoping this would be something to do with the anime. It is not. Oh no, that's Ghost in the Shell that I'm thinking. Never mind.
I was like, Ghost in the Machine is a Spiral Knights level.
Oh yes.
We have Demise of Nations Rome. It's a 4X turn-based grand strategy wargame during the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Which sounds like Tulkas' kind of thing, actually, if we're honest. It's also early access, so I don't know why I'm talking about it.
It's not Total War, it's not Tulkas' thing.
Well, okay, I'll grant you that. We have Kalimba, which is mind-bending subterranean puzzles. It's platforming with multiple characters, but is it multiplayer? Oh yeah, it does say local co-op. I think it's kind of a co-op focused kind of affair. Multiple vibrantly coloured characters bouncing their way through things.
Okay.
Which is BAFTA nominated.
Is it really?
I think I may have seen this before, actually. It seems like the characters are all kind of designed around a totem pole kind of idea. I feel like I've seen the concept somewhere. So it may be this game. I'm not sure how it plays. Strange kind of thing. We have Environmental Station Alpha, which is a also pixel art, old schooly style Metroidvania kind of thing. If you like Metroid, if you like Castlevania. That's the thing that's similar to those.
No, I was disappointed in the first simulator, but this one.
Oh, this one doesn't even look original. This is Tea Party Simulator.
2015.
2015 specifically, no less. Yes.
It must be like FIFA.
You are apparently in this particular simulation drinking what appears to be bright blue tea with a teddy bear. And
The perfect tea party guest.
It does, yeah. Admittedly, he does seem to be having a conversation with the teddy bear. It looks like it's going for Surgeon Simulator. It's that kind of thing. It's you have a hand, and it's probably really difficult to control, and you're trying to do things. And I will say that game already exists. Not long after Surgeon Simulator, someone made a game called Amputee, which was you have a robotic arm because your arm has been amputated, and you are learning to control your arm. So, oh, guess what? It's really difficult to control. Let's make a cup of tea with this hand now. And that was exactly the same concept. And this appears to be the same thing again, except you've got a slightly rude teddy bear shouting obscenities at you. They may not be obscene, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a very pleasant guest. It seems to get angry at you when you spill the tea.
Which is understandable, I guess.
That doesn't sound terribly compelling. Let's see, what else have we got? We have got... Oh man, this list goes on.
Never-ending list.
This is a never-ending list. We have got Mind Snares Alice's Journey, which is... Oh god, it's a point-and-click... Not point-and-click, it's a hidden object game. Kind of... You can almost kind of see them coming a mile off. A little bit of me was like, what is this? Yeah, is it... When Alice, is this Alice in Wonderland, or is this just a generic Alice? No, it's just a generic... It's not particularly anything... No relation to Alice in Wonderland. It's just hidden object game. Okay.
Hipped.
Hipped. Hipped. Get hipped.
No.
Hipped is... It has, What the hell is this?
Excellent game for journalism bombers. What the hell is this?
I can't even tell what the hell I'm looking at. It's some sort of cyberpunky kind of thing. You're like hacking into stuff with viruses and it's all very bright neon.
This looks like it plays a lot like Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Where can they find a review for that, Will?
Oh, on our website again.
Okay.
We're finding games that are similar to games that I reviewed, which are very minimal on that website compared to the bulk of it, which is yours.
Fair enough.
Hey, a segue is a segue.
We have Siralim. I have no idea what this is. What the heck is this? I usually take a quick look at some of these things. I'm not sure what that is. Oh god, this is this RPG Maker? No, not quite. It's pixel art RPG stuff. It's yeah. I'm not being sold on this, if I'm completely honest. It is a deep RPG with light roguelike elements, apparently. Not terribly attention grabbing, if I'm honest.
But if you wanted an attention-grabbing name, our next game...
We have a game about a dragon. What is it called, Michael?
Dragon. A game about a dragon.
Is it about a dragon?
I think it might be about a dragon.
This is really cute.
Really?
I like this.
Really? Oh.
You've lost Will's respect.
Not particularly good, I don't think, but the style is kind of charming. He's got very it's crayon is the style.
It's
children's crayon drawing is the style it's got going on. It appears to be, for the most part, a platform game done in children's crayon style. I'm fairly sure I saw one of the boss battles looked a lot like the final Robotnik battle from the first Sonic game. It looked, yeah, it looked a lot like that. We have Dungeons 2, which I thought was already out. I thought there was a Dungeons 2. Am I wrong? I genuinely thought there was a Dungeons 2. This is kind of a take on the Dungeon Keeper kind of thing, and I know they made Dungeons, and then I genuinely thought they had made a Dungeons 2. Apparently they haven't. Apparently it's out this week. So Dungeons 2, if you want a Dungeon Keeper-esque things, it's Calypso. It's a fairly high budget affair. This isn't some weird niche, badly done indie thing. This is supposed to be. I think the last one was supposed to be half decent. If you're looking for things that are Dungeon Keeper and not terribly, horribly ruined, monetized EA free-to-play affairs on your mobile phone.
Okay,
that was not a good Dungeon Keeper clone. We have Ballads of Remus, When the Bed Bites, which is a point-and-click game, I guess? The point-and-click adventure kind of thing, which looks really bad. I don't think I'm sold on this thing. It looks like 1,000,001 other point-and-click games. It's kind of quirky and weird, I guess. Remus the Insect Exterminator and his companion Liam the Bear, who is for some reason blue.
What's it with blue bears in games this week?
What are the blue bears, were there? What other blue bears have we looked at, sorry?
One in Tea Party Simulator.
Oh, was that blue? I didn't clock the colour on that one.
Said it was blue. I'm trusting it.
Okay, alright, fair enough. And then we've got a bunch of other stuff that's still popped up on my list, but a lot of it's early access. Got Broadsword Age of Chivalry. Is a historic turn-based game in medieval Europe. Which, I guess if you're into history stuff, that would be a thing to look at. Can't say it looks amazing, but then a lot of this history stuff never does look amazing to me, and they still end up with fan bases, so I'm like, I guess I don't know what the appeal is. But I guess there is one. So there may be an appeal to that. Who knows? It says asynchronous multiplayer, so that's the thing.
That's a lot of oohs.
I was just going through the game features. One of the bullet points, one of the things on the box, a bullet point, a selling feature, if you will, a compelling reason to buy this game, microtransactions. Game feature overview. Campaign. There are 5 missions following Joan of Arc. Multiplayer. Asynchronous multiplayer, i.e. words with friends, turn-based multiplayer. Microtransactions. There's an in-game store so you can buy things. Why would you That's not a way to sell people on your product. What the hell? Gross. That's gross.
Not the best.
It's not, unless it's free. It's not. I mean, it could be. I suppose it could be free to play, but even still, you wouldn't put that as a bullet point on the box. It's hard. It doesn't actually have a price listed on here, so I have no idea. But I think that's the list for the week. I probably missed some stuff because Steam changes so much on a day-to-day basis. Kind of. I shouldn't draft the list on a Sunday if we're going to be recording this on a Monday, but there you go. I think that brings us to the end. I think. You want to walk us out?
Well, I can do, but it's going to cost you.
I will. I might buy you a beer one day.
It's good enough for me. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. We really do appreciate it. If you want to engage with us, let us know how we're doing. Maybe you've got some gaming news that's not bowel scraping.
Yes, please post news in the comments.
Yep, we'll talk about it. They'll just give us topics. Give us anything.
Give us anything. We're desperate. God damn it.
If you want to find out more about Button Mash, you can follow us on Facebook at
Facebook.com/button mash.
Follow us on Twitter at
Twitter.com/button_mash_UK.
You can find our presence at Steam at
bit.ly/BM Steam.
We've already done the website. And,
We've done that many times.
Yep, you should have got it by now. And if you would like to, I don't know, throw John some money on his Patreon series, if you're crazy or you've got spare cash.
Or you just want to support a content creator whose work you're a big fan of and really feel like he deserves a couple of dollars just for his hard work that he puts in on a daily basis, making entertainment for you. For free, normally, you feel like, really this service actually warrants $1 a month or so.
Whatever floats your boat, that can be found at
Patreon.com/buttonmash.
Do you want me to announce the upcoming?
Oh yeah, do it.
Festivity? Yep. On the 30th of May at the New Bradford Playhouse, it is Button Mash 11. Unless we came up with a tagline.
No, we've not come up with anything creative for any of the names we ever did for anything ever.
Yep, so Button Mash 11. At the
Sweet.
At the New Bradford Playhouse, it'll have all the old favourites. There'll be the Rock Band Room. We'll have multiple retro video games. We'll have the Button Mash tournament.
And this time we're adding Werewolf to the mix. We're going to try and get a really big game of Werewolf, and we're going to dress it up and make it cool and have a set and everything, and make a bit of ambience. Really set the scene so that you can really believe you're being in a small village in, I don't know, wherever the heck Miller's Hollow is supposed to be, Transylvania or something probably, being harassed by werewolves.
It's either going to be a triumph or a disaster.
Why not both? It could be a trisaster.
Hey, I like what you did there. So yep, on the 30th of May, if you want to find out more details, there is an event page on Facebook.
At facebook.com/buttonmash. I wouldn't know the exact event link. I'm not going to reel out a string of numbers.
Damn it, you ruined my segue.
What did you expect me to do there?
Put it into Google, Button Mash event.
Just go to facebook.com/buttonmash. It will be top of the bloody page.
You should be able to find it.
Yes.
This has been the Button Mash podcast. Thank you very much for listening to us. We appreciate it. And on behalf of John.
Thank you.
On behalf of Will.
Thank you.
I'm Michael. This has been the Button Mash podcast. We'll see you next week as always. Goodbye.
Bye.
Everybody.